Hey guys, Sam here, and welcome to the first Sam Talks video of 2023. Now, if some of you have watched my previous videos before, you know about some of the stupid bets I make with myself. In 2021, I bet that if the New York Yankees didn't win it all, I would have to dance to the Katy Perry classic California Girls. Guess what happened?
California girls were unforgettable. Daisy Dukes, bikinis on top.
In 2022, I bet that if the Yankees didn't win it all, I would have to read the infamous Gravity Falls Taco Bell fanfiction story. Guess what fucking happened?
He held the brown underwear like a fish on a lure and put his sticky white lips into the sticky... Okay, that's it. No, I'm done. No.
So here we are in 2023. Am I going to make another stupid bet with myself that revolves around my favorite team? Yes, I am. Now, what will it be about, I wonder? What will I do? Am I going to have to read another fan fiction that's filled with smut? Am I going to dance to another embarrassing song? Nope and nope. This time, if the Yankees don't win it all this year, I will buy a Boston Red Sox hat and wear it. For one day. Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound like a big gigantic deal. It's just a hat. But since it is the hat that represents the Yankees' biggest and most hated rival ever, it's basically the equivalent of eating something that you know you are allergic of and can kill you. It's like that. So, please, I beg of you Yankees, please win it all this year. Please don't embarrass me for a third consecutive year. I'm tired of the playoff disappointment. I beg of you, please just win a goddamn championship. I know we have 27, but we want to say 28. Get number 28, please. If you don't, I will die. Okay. Anyway, speaking of dying, let's talk about 1000 Ways to Die. Like some of you, I do remember seeing this show on TV. It was an American anthology TV show that aired on the Spike Channel and Comedy Central from 2008 to 2012. The show basically recreates many unusual and supposed deaths, true events, and debunked urban legends, which also includes many medical experts to explain what caused these deaths. Actually, the show is kind of like the original Thomas and Friends. And by that, I mean they had a US narrator and a UK narrator. The US had 3. The first couple episodes were done by Tom Beers, and some of the last episodes were done by Joe Irwin. But the main narrator that spanned across all 6 seasons was Hellboy himself, Ron Perlman. Yep, just another reason as to why this guy's a badass. In the UK, they had 2, Alastair Simpson and Howard Ritchie. Hell, Australia had their own narrator, John Moore. Like I said before, the show had about 6 seasons and about 74 episodes. So the seasons ranged from having about, say, 10 to 16 episodes at the most. The least amount of episodes that was in a season was 8, but then again, it was the last season that had them, so it kind of makes sense. Now, I will admit, the first time I saw this show and saw one of their deaths, I was freaked out. At 8 years old, I had never seen that on TV ever. And I thought the most risque programs to watch at that time were SpongeBob and Total Drama. Of course, nowadays, I discovered that the show was very tongue-in-cheek, funny, creative, and entertaining. And yes, you name it, they did it. Being burned alive in acid, mercury poisoning, pebbled to death, and even falling down an elevator shaft. They all ranged from gruesome and gross to laughable and satisfying, especially if the person that's killed was either a dumbass or an asshole. So today, I wanted to talk about some of my favorite segments, compiling them together in a simple top 5 list, with one honorable mention. Now, here's a few things to keep in mind. If you are the type that's squeamish and cannot handle some of these very gruesome and horrifying deaths, viewer discretion is advised. You've been warned. Also, if you are a fan of the show and wonder later why I didn't include some of your favorites, just know that this list is my opinion. And if you like this video and want to see me do another top 5 list just like it, or maybe do a top 5 1000 Ways to Die Part 2, let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into it. Number 5, Doggy Style.
Go on.
Okay, I swear to you, it's not that kind of death. I swear to you. Look, that's not... No, I've not heard of anybody that's ever died from Doggy Style. Although, have there actually... No, I'm not gonna think about that right now. Anyway, this death revolves around this golden retriever and 2 rednecks. And yes, I mean the stereotypical rednecks. Not that smart, always drink beer, love to hunt, and shoot every damn bird they see out of the sky. It's like Duck Dynasty, except they didn't get their own stupid reality show. In this one, the narration from Ron Perlman comes from the head of the dog. On this particular day, the hunters decide that instead of killing the animals with their guns, they'll use a stick of dynamite instead. Well, that's already stupid enough, but here's how they meet their demise. Like I said, the dog they brought with them is a golden retriever. The dog was bred to fetch things like sticks, balls, and even other animals. So, once he saw the stick of dynamite and watched them toss it, he ran after it. He picked it up, brought it back to them, placed it down on the ground, and ran off to chase a squirrel, leaving the 2 idiots to their fates.
There go my genetics again.
Okay, I'm not a fan of hunting myself, but even I know that that is a really stupid hunting mistake. It's not Shaggy lighting up dynamite thinking they are candles stupid, but still stupid nevertheless. At least Shaggy tossed the damn thing away. Hell, Duck Dynasty at least knew how to kill animals with explosives. They had the budget, the skill, and they were far away from the explosions. It still was stupid, but they did sort of use their brains there. Here, nada. I do feel bad for the dog though. His owners are dead and he's all alone. Well, hopefully he managed to get some new owners after this moment, and hopefully they were not as idiotic as these numbskulls. There, you see why it's called Doggy Style? Okay? And hey, guess what? I was able to go through this entire segment without making a dirty joke about it. Okay, just one.
What happened? I had a premature detonation.
Okay, that's number 5. Next. Number 4. Game stopped. You remember the times that your parents told you to stop playing video games after you've played them for so many hours? Well, did you know that they were secretly trying to keep you alive? Well, this gamer didn't get the memo. In this segment, Garth, yeah, they don't really use the actual names, they do just give them replacement names. Garth was playing a video game online with his buddies. He played it for hours, never getting up from his chair, ordering pizzas to eat, having energy drinks to drink, and using bottles and a bucket, I think, to do his private business. Like I said, this show can get gross sometimes. Anyway, in one long 60 straight hour session, Garth managed to defeat some of his friends. Except one. Man, if I had a nickel for every gamer who looked like that. The girl eventually beat Garth, which made him mad. He finally got out of his chair, stood up, and then collapsed. He was dead, just like that. How? Well, I'll let this expert explain.
Our video game player sat for such a long time and developed such massive clots in his veins and his legs that when he stood up, they broke free and floated up to his heart and to his lungs. And within a matter of a few seconds, there was enough blood that was coagulated in his lungs that he couldn't breathe. And his heart probably stopped within a few minutes after that.
Yep, that's right. You could actually die if you were sitting while playing video games for too damn long. So, the moral of the story here is this. 1, realize that you can play while standing up, and 2, take some breaks when your legs cramp up, or if you've been sitting long enough. If you don't do that during those many hours you play video games, 60 in Garth's case,
Game over.
oh come on, I had to, it was perfect. So yeah, gaming isn't bad, but neglecting your health while gaming is. Don't be like Garth. Garth was stupid. Sorry if there's anybody watching this video that's actually named Garth. Although, I've never actually come across a person that's actually had that name. Have you? Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Number 3, Fancical. As a sports fan, I can honestly say that I'm probably one of the more respectful people. I may make jokes about the Boston Red Sox a lot, but you're never gonna see me be that big asshole who's, really nasty to somebody, like just for the sake of being nasty. That's just not me. This guy...
Do you ever get the urge to get stupid drunk? Yeah! Paint yourself in your team's colors and sit half naked in sub-zero weather at a football game?
Was one of those nasty assholes. George was a mega sports fan, constantly drank beer, painted his favorite team's colors on his body, was loud, annoying, and obnoxious. Basically, this is a guy that makes sports fans look bad. Now, I can understand wanting to support your favorite team. If you want to paint your body the team's colors or wear their merchandise at the game, that's up to you. That's your business. But, since this guy was going to a game in Cool Rapids,
Minnesota!
he should have at least worn like a big fur coat or maybe used a hot tub like some people actually use the tailgate. Seriously, they do that. But this guy did not do that. He was basically a drunken, shirtless man with body paint on going to a game where it was snowing like crazy. Obviously, he caught severe hypothermia because of it. Once his body temperature started to take a nosedive and he realized something was wrong, he lost the ability to talk. To the other fans, he just looked like the idiot drunk he always was. Once the game was over, the body temperature got so low that his internal organs failed and froze him up.
In severe hyperthermia, your core body temperatures drop to below 86 degrees Fahrenheit. You suffer multiple organ failure. What kills you is cardiac arrest or cardiac fibrillation.
Now, I know this next clip is not something that makes too much sense since this guy was not a grandpa. Thank God. But this clip was just too perfect not to use.
Grandpa's dead. Give me a D. Give me an E. Come on, where's your enthusiasm?
In the end, the moral of the story is simple. Do not be like this guy. Look, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, and people have died in Buffalo because of the snow that's happening there right now. If I did what this guy did in that weather, I'd be dead 10 times over. Number 2, Tentacled. This is a case where one father was just too stubborn and overprotective of his daughter. Kim was a Korean father who had a daughter who was going out with a Korean American boy named Reed. Kim felt that Reed was not good enough for his daughter, so he tried to scare him away by inviting him to a traditional Korean dinner. First, he made him try live prawns. Reed was reluctant, but ate it anyway. Then came the sea worm. Reed was more grossed out, but when the father ate it like it was nothing and demanded him to eat it, he did. But eventually Reed refused to eat one particular meal, live octopus. The father called the poor boy a pussy, grabbed the octopus, put some sauce on it, and tried to eat the entire thing in one bite. He managed to swallow it all in one go, but since the octopus was still alive, that meant that the octopus's tentacles were stuck in his throat. He lost all oxygen and choked to death. Worst family dinner ever. This is not only a unique way to die, but it all could have been avoided if the father was less stubborn and more accepting. And based on one Korean man, Korean dinners are supposed to bring families together and strengthen their bond with each other. Kim was too stubborn, prideful, and overprotective to see reason, which sadly led to his demise. The only thing left to solve is this. How were the boyfriend, the girlfriend, and the mother after this? I mean, did the couple stay together? Did they call it quits? Did they actually get married later on and have kids? Because if that's the case, that would be one hell of a story to tell the kids someday. Oh yeah, you want to know what happened to your granddad? Well, he choked on octopus.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's just as freaky as it sounds. Hell, this death is so gruesome that I showed this to my brother Nick, who is one of those people that likes to talk with food in his mouth and doesn't care. Well, I'm sure he'll think twice about doing that the next time he eats anything. Especially after seeing something like this. Now, before I move on to number 1, here is an honorable mention. The Radium Girls. Honestly, this death isn't that funny or satisfying. It's just sad. Back in the early 20th century, the US Radium Corporation in Orange, New Jersey gave jobs to women who could be very precise with their markings on military watches and clocks. Some girls were given jobs to write the numerals on watch faces. They used a new paint called On Dark. Turns out that this kind of paint glowed in the dark because it was made of radioactive material called radium. What caused the girls' deaths was this. They were told to keep the tips of their brushes sharp and pointy by wiping the excess paint off on their lips. By doing this, they began to glow in the dark because of how much they ingested. So what makes this so bad? Well, turns out this material was enough to give one particular woman bone cancer, which she sadly succumbed to later on. What's worse is that the company knew that the material could harm them and did nothing. Luckily, they were sued by some of the girls in the first successful workers' rights lawsuit. Because of this, it led to higher safety standards for many people across America. But the bone cancer stuff was just the tip of the iceberg. There was more. According to one commenter, in the true story, the material the girls ingested also made their teeth fall out, their mouths bleed, their jaws literally drop, and more. In fact, when they were buried in the graves, the caskets they were in were made of lead, since wood could contaminate quicker. If you want to learn more about the Radium Girls and the history, journey with them, and all that other stuff, there are many videos on YouTube that talk about them. The rest of the story is actually pretty damn grim and depressing. Sorry if this was more of a downer than the rest, but I wanted to highlight this segment for a couple reasons. Not just because of how serious, sad, and real it was, but to also say this to the people at the company that thought it was a good idea to not say anything about potentially killing their employees. Screw you! Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get to number 1. Number 1, withdrawn. So we've seen guys get blown up by dynamite, one guy collapse after gaming for too long, one guy literally freeze to death, one father choke to death on an octopus, and innocent women get bone cancer and more because of radioactive material. What could possibly top all of that? Well, sit tight guys, because this next one is going to have your mind blown. In this one, a guy walks into a bank with a bomb strapped around his neck. He claims that some people are going to kill him if he doesn't get enough money for them. The employee complies and tries to give him some money, but the guy says it's not good enough and asks for more. But then, the cops show up. The guy backs away, saying that the bomb might go off and that he doesn't want to die. Oh wow, this is serious. Who would do something like that to this poor man? Well, I'll tell you who. Himself. Yep, that's right, he was lying. He was acting alone, and the bomb around his neck was not only something he made himself, but he wanted it to be so authentic that he actually made it into a real bomb. Wow, this guy not only had huge balls, but also a big brain to come up with something so crazy. Well, unfortunately for him, as the cops were trying to gain control of the situation and call for the bomb squad, he literally lost his brains. Holy shit! How'd that happen? Well, remember the employee that tried to comply with his demands? Well, as the cops showed up, she left the scene and went to her car, but when she unlocked the car door, that made the bomb go off. Yep, you're right again, the key was on the same frequency as the live bomb. Jeepus cross! Well, that's certainly one of the worst ways to die indeed. Now do you see why I put this as number 1? So, in the end, what have we learned here? Well, 1, don't rob banks, duh. Number 2, this guy's plan could have been fine if he wasn't too greedy for more money. If he had left sooner, he would still be alive. And number 3, if you're gonna fake having a bomb strapped around you, make it just look like a real bomb. Don't actually make a bomb! For crying out loud! It's like this guy was trying to kill himself, just for the sake of just... Yeah, again, like I said, that's why this is number 1. In conclusion, the show was always good at not just giving us legit reasons as to how and why these people died, but also doing a good job in entertaining us, making us laugh, and even educating us from time to time. If you're interested in the show, give it a watch. I have a playlist of them on my channel, which is made by somebody else. Check them out, if you can handle it, of course. Okay guys, that's my top 5. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And again, like I said before, if you did like this list and you want me to do something like this again, maybe for another topic, or do another top 5, 1,000 Ways to Die, a part 2 of it, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, my name is Sam, and good night, everybody. And yes, I'm actually letting this mustache grow out. I want to see what it looks like. Bye-bye.
Yeah.